This is for week 4. Um, and Commissioner Northup gave her speech, and we have a few questions to answer. Question 1, according to Commissioner Northup, why is the relationship between Congress and the regulatory agencies dysfunctional? Her answer was that there are very few people in Congress that understand every single word they pass is critical, because that will be the ironclad that limits what the agencies will be able to do with the law. Congress negotiates a middle position, but it can be a Democrat position or a Republican position depending on the majority of the Congress. They negotiate the bill, finding the center point of each bill. The center point of Congress that Congress finds may not be the center point that the agency finds, but the center point that Congress pushes is really what gets pushed along, which sucks because agencies don't necessarily feel the same way as Congress does. Congress does not think of everyday things, rather their minds are set on things like housing, roads, debt ceilings, and there's a list of many other things that they focus on. Question 2. Regulation adds many unnecessary costs in that they are having to check every single piece of for example, every single piece of a children's toy to ensure it doesn't have any harmful chemicals like lead. Northrop believes that this constant checking for chemicals, the extra steps, extra costs are very unnecessary. It's making extra steps for companies. For example, a DVD. If a 2-year-old were handling a DVD, yeah, you would want to check for lead or harmful chemicals because you'd expect them to put it in their mouth. But a DVD isn't made for a 2-year-old, nor more often than not, a 2-year-old doesn't handle a DVD. Their parents handle it. So steps like that aren't necessary for certain toys. So it shouldn't be, or certain items. It shouldn't be for every item. It should be specified, and there's just so many extra steps that are being taken for no reason. And these extra steps and costs ultimately trickle down to the consumer, and we see that in the price of our goods that we purchase. Lastly, how has this slowed economic growth? Well, if it's too expensive for companies to function, they're going to close their doors, because if there's all these regulations they have to meet, and with all these costs that go with it, this back and forth of not checks and balances, but checks that they have, they go through one check and then it doesn't meet it, it's got to come back. And so it just ultimately, some companies can't make it with all this extra cost and inspection fees, which ultimately causes people to lose jobs. So there's a lot of people affected other than just, the company. So, and like I said, we end up feeling it in the products we buy. Thank you.